Welcome everyone. Here we are for another episode of Football with the Fellas. I'm your man Mazo.
Clay from Brooklyn. What's up?
Yeah, and this episode, we're going to talk about it was a game 3 for the New York Giants against the Browns. We're starting off the Giants started off the year 0-2. Browns now are 1-1. Are we hopeful? Are we at least hopeful for a win this time, Clay? I mean,
I'm hopeful every week. So yes, I'm definitely hopeful. And listen, Cleveland, they had a great defense last year. Their defense hasn't gotten off to quite as good a start this year, but they're certainly on paper, impressive. But they got a fair number of injuries on offense. And their offense hasn't been as consistent. Deshaun Watson is not the guy that he was coming out of college and playing for Houston all those years. He hasn't been that guy since he left Houston. So, we can beat them. Will we beat them? I don't know. I believe it when I see it, but I certainly am hoping for it.
I'm the guy. I'm going to stick on we can beat them. I really believe we can beat them. Yeah, we're gonna beat them. Look, we'll have a kicker this time, so we should.
A kicker would be helpful.
We'll have a kicker this time, and we'll be able to kick field goals, and the strategy will change a bit.
God forbid, get a touchdown.
I believe we can do it. But this is funny. I thought about this episode. This is going to be a funny episode in the sense of, this could be a make or break game for the Giants. When you go 0-3, after that you're thinking about who am I going to pick in the first round.
Not only that, but the schedule does not get better after this. It gets worse. We've got Dallas and Seattle coming up right after that. And Philly after that. So we could be looking at a lot of games before we get a victory. I think the first game that I can say we should win is Carolina, and I think that's week 9. So we could easily be 0-8 or somewhere close to that before we get to a game that we'd be favored in. But let's not get that far ahead of ourselves.
We can't.
We got Cleveland this week. Cleveland is erratic. They can be beat, and we have to put pressure on Deshaun Watson. I did read today that Brian Burns is on the injury report. He's listed as questionable now. He has a groin problem, like seemingly everybody else in the Giants. I don't know what's going on with groins.
Who's the flexibility coach?
I don't know what's going on, but groins are just a big problem for our team. So obviously we hope he can play, but you also don't want to risk, him missing a month because he played too soon. So if he needs to sit, then let's sit him. But it would be great to have a fully healthy Brian Burns coming off the edge because their 2 tackles are hurt.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Jedrick Wills, their left tackle, Jack Conklin is their right tackle. They've both been injured this year. I don't think Jedrick Wills has played at all. Jack Conklin played a little bit. And their backup right tackle, DeJuan Jones, who is as big a human being as you'd ever want to meet, is also hurt. So, they're really kind of thin at the tackle spot. So if Brian Burns can play and Kayvon can come off the other edge, that would really be, an advantage for us.
This could be a breakout game for Kayvon. Then this should be we've asking him to step up because he said he's the man.
Yes.
This is the game.
He said he wants to set records.
Mm-hmm. Right. This is the game right now. This is the game.
Right.
And I'm telling you I was thinking too about, when you mentioned about, I'm a little dismayed that now Burns might not play. Oh man, that's going to be tough. But can our secondary hang out with the receivers?
So their receivers in theory are good, right? They got Amari Cooper, who has been putting up 1,000-yard seasons, for years.
Right.
And Jerry Jeudy, who coming out of college, I thought he was going to be like a perennial All-Pro. Right. That is a route-running fool and can fly. I thought he was going to be great. He hasn't really lived up to his draft status in his college career. And Amari Cooper's off to a bad start. He's got 4 or 5 drops already this year. I was reading the Cleveland fan sites, and they were talking about how Cooper just does not seem to be the same guy this year for some reason. Now, of course, a lot of guys have their get right game against the Giants. So really? I'm not ready to say Amari Cooper is not going to do any work against us, but he hasn't done it yet.
He'll get what happened. He'll get the first 3 passes of the game, right, 20 a pop. That's what happens. just because it's against the Giants.
But if we can put some pressure on Deshaun Watson, he's mobile, but he's a little bit erratic. He's had some injuries. He's not as mobile as he used to be. His arm isn't as strong as it used to be.
No.
I think he's somebody that can be beat.
I think definitely can, because he's definitely not the same guy he was before he signed that contract. He's definitely not the same guy.
And he gets paid more than Daniel Jones. So you think we complain about what Daniel Jones makes. They really complain about what Deshaun Watson makes.
Really? Exactly.
And what they gave up to get him. They gave up a boatload of picks to get him. That's why Houston's so good now, to be honest. The Texans are good now mostly because of what they got back from Deshaun Watson.
And probably still.
That's another conversation. We're not here to talk about Houston.
But this will be an interesting game for Daniel because it's funny. I look at it. This is when the Giants' offensive line had to stand up, not just for the pass blocking, but more so in their running game. This is the game that the Giants actually could, run pretty well against against Cleveland.
I mean, they do have Dalvin Tomlinson on the interior defensive line, former Giant Dalvin Tomlinson. So this is Dalvin Tomlinson revenge game, as they like to call it. But yeah, I mean, he's a very solid, more than solid, very good nose tackle. And Myles Garrett coming off the edge is always going to be a problem, although he's hurt too, so he's not going to be at 100%. And they got Zadarius Smith coming off the other edge.
But their run stoppers aren't there, though. They have not.
I think we can run on them. I think we can run on them. Dalvin Tomlinson is a problem, but I think we can run on them.
Even without other number 26, we can run with them.
We're going to have a number 26 running on them. It may not be
I'm about to give that man some respect, though.
No, he's playing well. Singletary's playing well. He had a big fumble last week that was costly, but other than that, he's playing well. I'll give him props. And again, I was happy we got him. I just wasn't happy with what we gave up before.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think this is a team that, I mean, I'm not saying that I expect us to win. I'm saying we can win this game. This is not it wouldn't shock me if we won this game. Cleveland can beat themselves just as much as we can beat them.
I believe, honestly, and I'm looking at, and I was thinking about the offense, and I was looking back what we did last game. I would go to the offensive coordinator, which is, I guess Dable calls all the plays.
Dable's calling the plays, right?
I would say Coach Dable. I know we definitely we drafted Mr. Neighbors. In the first game, you weren't looking at him. You weren't running any plays for him. Second game, almost every play was for Neighbors.
Right. It's got to be a midpoint, right?
So I'm thinking now, there's a Mr. Slayton out there. There's a Mr. Robinson out there. And please put Mr. Hyatt out there. And I mean, put him on the field, first of all. Keep him on the field.
Right.
And then let him run long. Let Daniel just let one loose. Just let one loose. If it gets intercepted, it gets intercepted. I don't care. But just spread that offense out. That's all.
We have to stretch the field. We have to stretch the field.
Why not?
Also, so last week, I don't think we targeted a tight end at all. I don't think there was any passes to tight ends last week.
No, they're all to Neighbors. All the passes to Neighbors.
They were almost all to Neighbors. And we have some tight ends that, at least look like they've got some talent. I mean, Theo Johnson, like I said, he's a rookie coming out of college, so we don't know he's going to be good, but he's certainly got the physique, and he's got the work ethic, and he looks like someone who could produce. Daniel Bellinger looked really good 2 years ago.
He did.
Didn't use him very much last year, and we really aren't using him much this year. So I don't understand why we can't throw to a tight end from time to time. Again, the more predictable you are, the easier you are to stop. If all we're going to do is throw intermediate passes to Malik Neighbors, the league is going to figure that out pretty soon, and they're going to take Malik Neighbors away. I mean, it's not, he's not Bob Hayes. He's not the fastest human alive. It's not like you can't cover him. There will be people, teams will be double teaming him, or they'll be, rotating a safety over the top, whatever it is they have to do to take away Neighbors if we don't have anybody else that we throw to.
They're going to start that on Sunday. That's when they're going to start doing it. You know it. You just know it. I don't see why they can't open up the playbook. Open up the playbook, please.
Got to do it. And throw to other people, period. You can't just throw to Neighbors. You got to. First of all, we're going to get him hurt. 18 targets, that's how you get your receiver hurt. right? Sure. And that's not what we need, right? So it's not even in his best interest to get that many targets. He's going to get hurt. But more importantly, or equally importantly, we have other players, and if you use the other players, everybody benefits when the ball's spread around. How many championships did Will Chamberlain win when he was scoring 50 points a game and 44 points a game? None. He finally got a couple of rings when he let other people get the ball sometimes. You just have to be able to get your teammates involved. It's a team sport.
Okay, I waited on this one. I didn't want to do it at the beginning, but you know what's coming.
I know it's coming.
Daniel. Daniel.
So he actually played pretty well this week. This week meaning week 2. He wasn't why we lost. I'll put it that way. I think he threw the ball neighbors too often. I think he took a couple of deep shots. I wish he took a couple more, certainly to other people. But he wasn't the problem. And the pass protection wasn't the problem.
It was good.
And if Andrew Thomas can stop Myles Garrett when he's on that side of the ball, and if we have a tight end to help Illuminor stop him when he's on the other side, I think, Daniel might have some time to throw again, especially like you said, if the running game is working.
We got to use the running game. I'm telling you, I looked at the film, and right now, this year, it's only 2 games in, the Browns, their run defense isn't like that great. It's funny. It actually was equal to the way the Giants were when they couldn't stop the Commanders. Right. It's just like
maybe not quite that bad, but can be run on.
They can be run on, and right. And Daniel, for his credit, and like any quarterback, a good running game really helps the quarterback out. It's your best friend. It's your best friend, and that's what helped Daniel out. Like you said, let's play giant football. We run the ball, we throw to our tight ends, we throw to all the receivers, but we control the game. Not first and 10 and then second and 15 and third and then punt.
Yeah, no, and again, Cleveland doesn't scare me. I'm actually just as afraid of what we can do to ourselves as what Cleveland can do to themselves, right? We can beat ourselves just as badly as Cleveland could beat themselves. But this is a game that, we have a reasonable shot at. And as I mentioned a couple of days ago, I was talking about the rest of the NFC East. We are, this week, probably the team with the best chance to win. I think Philly's going to lose to New Orleans, who is playing lights out.
Yeah.
New Orleans is the highest team in the league. They're leading the league with 91 points scored in 2 games, and they've only given up 29 points. They're also leading in point differential. So I think they're going to lose. Dallas is playing Baltimore, who's 0-2 and really can't afford to lose another game.
Right.
They're going to be desperate. And Dallas isn't that great against the run either. And they're going to be running Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson down their throats.
Oh, no doubt.
And Washington plays Monday night against Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's 0-2. So I think Washington is going to go into Cincinnati. Primetime Monday night game isn't going to scare Cincinnati because they play those games all the time.
Right.
But Washington is not used to that. And, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow should be able to light them up even worse than Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones lit them up last week. So we could, strange as it may seem, if we pull off this upset, we could be tied, a 4-way tie for first, well, really last, in our division after Sunday. Everybody would be 1-2. If those 3 teams all lose and we win, everybody's 1-2, which is crazy.
It's crazy, but now you just gave me a little more optimism now. You just put the hope boat. The hope boat is floating now, right now. I didn't realize that.
Let me give you one more stat. The Giants have given up the fewest points in the division. We've only given up 49 points this year in these 2 games. Exactly. As bad as our defense seems, and they seem bad, we've given up 49 points. Philly's given up 51 points. Washington's given up 55 points. And Dallas has given up, I think, 63 points. We are, now, that's not the only metric for saying who's the best defense. But that's the most important one.
Right.
Is how many points did they score?
Right.
We've given up the fewest points in the NFC East. That's crazy.
But some of those points that weren't scored, like Washington, they shot themselves with.
There's reasons for everything. There's context for everything. But the bottom line is,
we're
no
number 1.
Team in our division has given up fewer points than we have. So again, if we win this game and those three teams lose and we're all tied at 1-2, I'm not saying we're going to the playoffs. I'm not ready to start printing up playoff tickets. I'm just saying the division is maybe the NFC least again. And the team that wins this division may not have to be, more than 10-7 or even 9-8. So I'm not saying we're going to do any of that. I'm just saying let's put it in context. We aren't doing as badly as it may seem like we are, especially within this division.
So playoff hopes are still alive. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. They are still alive, but I'm not saying that.
Is that mathematically they're still alive?
Mathematically, yes, they're still alive. I still think we have a better shot at a top 3 pick and a new quarterback than at a playoff run. But the fact is, the rest of the teams aren't doing very well either. Not division.
Oh, come on.
So yes, listen, I'm excited about this game. I'm going into this game thinking, here's a team we can beat. Cleveland isn't a team I'm afraid of. In fact, I actually, feel like there's a decent chance we can win this game.
Let's go here then. There's something I haven't done with you before, but you're Coach Dable. What is your strategy for this game for to beat these guys? What is your strategy?
They have a good secondary, right? They've got good cornerbacks, although Denzel Ward has been hurt also. Their top cornerback has been hurt. I think he played like 11 snaps last week or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure he's going to be 100%. But if he is, they've got good cornerbacks. Grant Delpit is a safety who, when he came out of college, they thought he was going to be great. He's not that great, but he's a solid safety. Martin Emerson is the other cornerback. I mean, they've got good defensive backs. But what I would do is say, listen, our pass pro seems to be solid. Let's get more people into the routes, right? Because a lot of pass plays we had last week, we only sent 2 people out initially because we got max protection, 2 tight ends, both staying in blocking, and the running back staying in the chip. That's not going to get done. We've got to send 3 or 4 people in the pattern, and at least one of them has to go deep. So that's my game plan. Keep sending people deep, make them respect that, make them turn and run backwards instead of just coming downhill at us. And that'll open up the middle of the field more. It doesn't have to always be Malik. If we hit Wandale on a choice route, if we hit a tight end in the flat, that's fine. But we got to spread the field.
Now, what about on the defensive side? See, there you go. See this?
So again, Brian Burns is hurt. So I'm not sure how much we're going to get out of Brian Burns. But assuming he plays a significant number of snaps, we got to get some pressure off the edge. And if he doesn't, then Azeez Ojulari has to step up. Somebody has to be the other side of Kayvon, or the opposite side from Kayvon, because their tackles are hurt. So if their tackles aren't up to snuff, we've got to make them pay for that, right? Washington's tackles weren't very good, and they still stopped us.
Yeah.
But these guys may be not very healthy, so maybe we can actually get some pressure. And of course, Dexter's going to be coming up the middle with his pressure. That's a given. But if he's the only one putting pressure on, it's easy to get around him. So that's the key. We got to put pressure on. I don't think our DBs are going to be able to cover their receivers all over the field. Like I said, Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy are very good receivers, at least skill set wise. Cooper's been dropping some passes this year, but skill set wise, they're very good receivers. So we have to get to the quarterback. So that to me is the key. You don't think you got to win the line of scrimmage. You got to stop the run and be able to run. You got to put some pressure on their quarterback and not let them pressure our quarterback. But I can say that every week. Like that's not rocket science. But this week, I think we have the ability to do those things.
This game has the makings of a game that's played between the 40 and 40.
Yes.
It could be stay right in the middle of the field, and it
could be a lot of punts.
A late kick.
It could be a lot of punts.
You can feel that. But I try to put like a number on every game. I try to put a number on it, a score on it, and this one was tough but I'm still gonna go. I'm going 17-14, Big Blue.
Okay. Listen, 17-14 Big Blue is realistic to me. That sounds like something we can pull off. Something we can pull off.
And you're gonna laugh at this one. A running touchdown by Mr. Jones.
Wow. Okay.
A running touchdown by Mr. Jones. From probably the 8-yard line. That's what I see.
That would be great. Probably after faking it to 26.
Right.
Like he's used to doing.
I just don't want him to get hurt, but
please don't get hurt.
But I do see
that's great.
This could be a good game.
I like that. I like 17-14 feels like that kind of score that we could win by. I'll go by the other Super Bowls win, 21-17.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now that we have a kicker, I'm going to say we can actually make some extra points. So 21-17. And listen, I think a low-scoring game is our best chance. I don't think we can, win this game 38-35. I just don't, especially if Myles Garrett is healthy. I don't think we want to have to throw that much because that's how you get your quarterback hurt if Myles Garrett is healthy and Zadarius Smith has come off the other edge. So, 21-17, 17-14, those seem reasonable.
Good. Okay, good. Okay. We'll see what happens, though.
We'll see what happens. As always, I'm sure we'll be back to talk about this in a couple, Monday or Tuesday, a couple of days.
Sure will.
And hopefully we'll get some comments. And let's hear what other people think about what we think.
We definitely want to hear what you guys think about what we're saying now. What do you think? Do you think the Giants really could win this game? Do you think they have an opportunity to win the game? Yes, they have opportunity because they're playing it, but do they have a chance to win the game? That's what I really want.
Is it a realistic chance?
Let us know about that. Put that in the comments.
Absolutely. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, Clay from Brooklyn, and
this is Mazo. And like we always say, it's all about Big Blue, baby. It's all about Big Blue. Until next time, we'll see you later.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.